live and in color today. What's happening, y'all? Yeah, come on in. Guess what? I'm not driving today. You guys missed it. It's a good day at work. Friday, Friday, Friday. That's right. So what's happening, everybody? What's happening, viewer? Some little, I pulled a little switcheroo today. I'm not in my truck as usual. I guess the viewer didn't want to sit and watch. So today, we're going to talk a little bit about, we're going to talk about the XFL a little bit today, I think. So today is the first game of the season for the XFL UFL, United Football League. If you guys aren't familiar, it was the XFL Football League was around in 2001. It was owned by Vince McMahon and what used to be the WWF, and it was back then, World Wrestling Federation. Vince McMahon was the owner of that, and he was also the owner of the XFL football teams. Okay, so in 2001, they had the XFL lasted one season, and it was, just kind of an experimental thing. And there was news that it was coming back in 2020. This time it was still owned by Vince McMahon, and there were 8 teams. In St. Louis, we actually had a team as well, which we still do. So basically, when the old COVID virus came around, we were like 3 or 4 games into the XFL season, and it was disbanded because they didn't want super spreaders and all that good shit, if that's what you want to call them. So the XFL decided that they were going to call it a season. So we waited a couple of years, and in 2023, the XFL made a comeback. This time, it was owned by Don the Rock Johnson and Lillian Garcia, and they went through the full season and everything. And so we're getting ready for the 2025 season, and it starts tonight. It's the first game. It's going to be the St. Louis Battlehawks against the Houston Roughnecks, I believe. It's going to be an away game, so it ought to be pretty exciting. I'm excited about it. I personally like the XFL better than the NFL because these guys, they have ambitions and they want to play. They don't play because they have to. They don't play because they're making millions of dollars. And they leave a lot of the political and bullshit out of the game. They don't bring it with them to the field. So this ought to be a pretty interesting season for 2025. Anyway, I had some stuff I had to do in my basement tonight, so I figured I would shoot a video while I'm doing it. I'm going to be right back. I've got to go get a knife, a knife, Knife. I'm breaking down boxes, and boy, I got a lot of them. We do a lot of like online shopping and stuff, so boxes add up after a while. You can see the mess I'm dealing with here. So I'm going to be breaking down these boxes. If you'll give me just a minute, I'm going to go get a knife so that I can cut these things to break down. And I guess I'll try and talk to you guys while I'm doing that. So hold on just a minute. I'll be right back. All right. Well, as usual, things don't work out the way I planned. So I'm going to be using a pair of scissors to do this today. So the first thing I usually do is I try to find a box that's big enough to put all of them in. And this is something I do, just basically when it gets, when I get quite a few in here, stuff like that. Anyway, so the XFL season ought to be pretty interesting this year. They actually merged with the USFL in 2024. Apparently, the XFL lost so much money in the previous seasons, or didn't have the right amount of, I guess, publicity, maybe, that they merged with the USFL. The USFL was also a spring league, and I guess they kind of just wanted to combine the two. That way they were, number one, they were going to be profitable. And number two is because the XFL itself was struggling. The only real crowds they had were the St. Louis crowd. The Battlehawks were averaging about 30,000 fans per game. Like for the first season, they had just like the lower bowl of the stadium that we play in open, but they decided about halfway through the season, it's the 2023 season, to open the upper bowl. So they were selling seats in the 400s and up. So it's pretty popular here. It's good that we had, St. Louis is a sports town, of course. We've got the Cardinals, baseball Cardinals, and then we've got St. Louis Blues, which is a hockey team, and then we also have a minor or major league soccer team now. We just got that a couple years ago. We did have the St. Louis Rams at one point, and then years ago they had the St. Louis Cardinals, but it's been a long time ago, so those teams are no longer here. The guy that owned the Rams, his name was Kroenke. I can't remember his first name because I guess it's not really that important. Stan, I think was his first name, Stan Kroenke. Got in some disputes with the city of St. Louis and decided to, break the contract and pull out, and he moved to LA. Of course, that's where all the trash needs to go anyways, to LA, California. So, when they brought back football to St. Louis, it was really exciting for everybody. And there was a lot of hype behind it, and the fans really seemed to like it. I mean, like I said, we are a sports town, so the Battlehawks football team, the XFL, was now called the UFL, it's a Unified Football League, because they took, I think it was they took, three teams from the USFL. Which were the Showboats, the Stallions, and the Panthers, and they used 5 teams from the XFL, which were the Battlehawks, the Brahmas, the Outlaws. I'm sorry, Renegades, not Outlaws. They got Outlaws on their helmets, but they're called the Renegades. The Washington team is the Defenders. That's 7. And then there was one other team. Oh, the Houston Roughnecks. They're from Texas. And they got 2 divisions. They've got the XFL division, and they've got the USFL division. And what they did is they took the Roughnecks from Houston and put them into the other division. So all the original XFL teams, except for one, are still XFL teams, with the exception of the Houston Roughnecks. They're now with the USFL. But anyways, 2 divisions, 4 teams per division. And this year, let's see, last year we had 5 home games. This year we're going to have 6 home games. And then the USL Championship, or UFL, United Football League Championship, will be held here in St. Louis again this year. I guess it was quite profitable for them last year. and it was simply because our city loves football so much that that they brought a good crowd, even though our team wasn't in the championship last year. The Battlehawks weren't in it. They brought a good crowd, and it was almost sold out for all the tickets that they had available. So if that tells you anything, it was quite profitable for them. So they decided to bring it back this year again. The championship game anyway. Now the Houston Roughnecks are going to be playing the Battlehawks tonight, and the game starts at 8 o'clock Central Time. I'm not sure. I guess that would be 8 o'clock. Let's see, 8 o'clock our time. Be 9 o'clock, I guess, Eastern Time, and then Mountain Time would be 7 o'clock, and then of course Communist California would be 6 o'clock p.m. For those of you unfortunate people that live out on the West Coast, you'll be seeing the game at 6 p.m. Anyway, so I'm really excited. We've waited a long time for this. The seasons are a little shorter than the NFL, that other football franchise, but to me it's a lot more exciting. These guys, most of these guys are like either retired or semi-retired draft picks that didn't make it in the NFL, or they're guys straight out of college, that didn't make the NFL. So, and I imagine there's probably a few of the players that are actually still in the NFL, but they just decided that they were going to, keep playing for other franchises, in the off season or whatever. So I'm really looking forward to it. Anyway, like I said, it ought to be a good game. Our team, let's see, we should have gone to the playoff. Well, we did go to the playoffs last year. The Battlehawks should have been in the championship game, but it came down to a points scored versus points against or something like that thing. And they were beaten by just a few points. It wasn't much for the team. It was the Brahmas that beat the Battlehawks to go to the championship. So, like I said, I'm breaking down boxes today in my basement. I do quite a bit of shopping, and I usually do this, just whenever it gets kind of hectic walking through down here, so it won't take me long. But I thought I would jump on and do a video, at least anyway. I may do another video this evening during the game. I'm not really sure. I'm hoping that maybe I'll watch it downstairs. I got a big TV downstairs, and I got the full effect and everything. So anyway, so any of you guys like the XFL, NFL, or the UFL? I don't know if any of you guys are sports oriented or not. I'm not getting any comments here. So, anybody got any questions or comments they'd like to share or anything? Feel free. I'm here until I turn this thing off. So, you're more than welcome to jump on in and say something if you like. I'm looking forward to the camaraderie. Our first home game is April the 6th. We'll be playing, I think we're playing the Defenders, the Washington Defenders or something like that, on April the 6th. So that would be our first home game. And of course, I went full circle this year, and I bought season tickets this year. I had season tickets last year, but a friend of mine purchased them, and I just paid him back and, used my seats. The seats I have are really good. We're one section back from one of the end zones, and then our team enters the field kind of across the way from us, but we can see them better than we had before because In other seasons, we were at the other end of the field, but we wanted to be on the the home team side. So we're in section, I don't know, like 209 or something like that. So I'm looking forward to that, and the crowds are unbelievable. During the football team games, we've been we've got the best attendance. We're also probably the loudest crowd, because there's so many people. It's like, I think our record was like 30. I want to say it was like 36,000 last year or something like that. That was there for the inaugural game, or our homecoming game last year. And the crowds just keep getting bigger and better. So we're looking forward to a good season this year for sure. And we're getting done with this faster than I thought I was going to. But we got six home games this year. There was something they did with the scheduling. They're going to have like one less playoff game or something, and one more qualifying game, I think, is how they set it up this year. I'm not really 100% sure. Cheerwine, drinking Cheerwine, folks. Some good shit right here. This is the best cherry soda in the world, and you can only get it in North and South Carolina. You can't get it anywhere else that I know of. Well, I mean, you can in a bottle, but you can't get it in a can like this. So when I go to North Carolina, I always stock up on this stuff. It tastes better out of the can than it does the bottle, because the bottles, they use cane sugar, pure cane sugar. And with those bottles, the tops don't fit real nice. They're not as sealed as they should be, so they lose a lot of the fizz. So these here, they got the pop top cans. That's Cheerwine. It's not an alcoholic drink, even though it says wine on it. It's actually a cherry soda. It's really good stuff. The colder it is, the better it drinks. Yeah. And for those of you who are interested, you can get Cheerwine at Cracker Barrel in the bottles, 4-pack bottles. They also have the diet, but who wants that shit, right? But it tastes really good with Fireball. Cheerwine's good with Fireball, so if you want to jot that down and keep that in mind as well. I don't drink on a regular basis. I might have a beer every once in a great while, but I have tried the Cheerwine with Fireball. It's really good. When I was younger, I used to drink a lot of Southern Comfort, and the sister company of Cheerwine is Sundrop, and I used to drink the Southern Comfort and Sundrop. It was really good. So anyway, here we are in my basement breaking down boxes. I'm almost done. I've only got a few more left, but I'm glad to see I've got some viewers today. I know that generally, over here for the past couple of times I've been live, I've been talking about friendships and relationships and that kind of thing, but I kind of wanted to move away from that today, and I figured since I was already at home and had the spare time, I would go ahead and talk about the XFL, UFL season starting, because I don't know how many people actually out there know about it. I see I've only got 4 viewers right now, but I still haven't gotten any comments or suggestions on topics to talk about. I'm trying to figure out something to do that would be really cool. Like every time I come on, I'd like to do something cool, talk about things people are interested in, but without anybody commenting or saying anything or sharing. I don't know what you guys' interests are. So it would really be helpful to me if you drop it down below in the comments, what kind of things you'd like for me to talk about. If I know about it, I'll talk about it. If I don't, then I'm sorry. I'm just a redneck with a phone, and I get online every once in a while and I do a video. I'll snap that in place so that doesn't fall. There we go. All right. So we got boxes galore. Boxes for days. So recently we ordered some stuff, and we had boxes down here for a while, and I haven't done anything with them in a couple of weeks. So I thought it'd be a good time to, take care of it today. And for those of you who are just coming on, I see I've got a few more viewers on. For those of you just coming on, we were talking about the XFL, UFL merger, and the XFL football teams being our home team here is the Battlehawks. And I'm really looking forward to the live games too, going to my home games, because the crowds are awesome and people are just great. It doesn't matter what your political affiliation is. It doesn't matter what your religion is. It doesn't really matter either, even if you're a visiting team and a fan of the visiting team. We still have a lot of fun. It's kept on a nice level, and stuff like that. But just like anywhere else, you're going to have your troublemakers, and unfortunately we get those every once in a while. People have a little bit of too much of this, and they want to cop an attitude with each other and things like that, and that's sad, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so more boxes. Oh, I got more boxes this time, I think, than I've had in a while. At least bigger ones, anyway. I think I might better keep these. I've got one of those Oculus things, the mask that you put on. It's a 3D or virtual reality or whatever they call it. And these were stands, charging stands for them. So these boxes are pretty cool. I just take these boxes to work generally and put them in the recycle dumpster. I don't really give a shit about recycling, but unfortunate enough for me, if I'm going to put them out, with like my regular trash pickup, I have to call a few days ahead and let them know, hey, look, you're going to have some extra boxes and stuff. And then, the boxes can only be so heavy and so tall, and they got all these regulations I have to go by, and it's just it's more trouble than it's worth. So I break them down. I find one great big box, put them all in there, put them in the back of the truck, take them to work, and I put them in the recycle dumpster. So anyway, anybody got any questions, comments? I wonder where he's at. Somebody on a CB radio. I got my CB radio on. Northern California, I won't be able to talk to him. It used to be that I could get out that way, but it really kind of depends on the day. If what they call the skip is real good, I'm able to get out a little farther. I don't have any problem talking to people on the East Coast. The East Coast is fine. I can talk to people out there all day. It's the people on Central Missouri and West Coast that I have a hard time with. So like anything from Texas West or northern Iowa West, I can't really talk to them. I do have a little bit of a problem sometimes in western Missouri, which is where I'm at. I'm in Missouri, for any of you who like to know. I have a hard time getting out to those people, but it's just a little old setup. I got a pretty nice little setup. It's just an antenna, some coax, and a radio. That's pretty much it. Well, I got some what they call fire in the wire, but that's neither here nor there. It's not really legal, but what are they going to do? Come take it? Good shit. All right, last one. So I don't generally do videos down here. I've done a few. There are some videos on my page where I've done some what they call let's see, reveals from these like mystery bags I get from this band called Raven Black. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with them, but they're kind of new on the scene. Well, they've been around for quite a while, but I discovered them back in like 2000. I don't know. I want to say 16 or no, it wasn't 16. It was probably 2017 or 2018. I went to a bar called Pops over in Sauget, Illinois, or Sauget or Sausage or whatever the hell the name of that place is. Anyway, it's in East St. Louis, which isn't really like, you know, one of the most desirable places in the world to be. But they had 5 bands that night. There was Raven Black, Mushroom Head, Dope, there's 2 other ones there, and I can't remember. Sunflower Dead, and let's see, that was 5. Okay, good. So anyway, Raven, who is the singer for the Raven Black band, and I became friends. I became part of their fan club almost immediately after the show, and I became really good friends with this lady, Raven, who was a singer for Raven Black Band, and we have there's a group that I belong to. It's called the Ravens Rejects, and what they do is she does live videos. It's really cool the way she does it. But she'll have like memorabilia and things, and from, you know, like her concerts that she does, she'll have, you know, different items that she's going to not use anymore and stuff like that. She'll put them on auction, or she'll have special prizes that she puts on auction and that kind of thing. And she sends them in bags. A lot of them, some of them in boxes. It just kind of depends on, you know, what's in the box or what's in the bag. And this is a mystery bag. So I've done a couple of reveal videos, like for some of the stuff that she sent in these bags and boxes. They're on my YouTube page or YouTube channel or whatever. So if you guys get a little extra time, you can go check them out sometime. Yep. So anyway, I'm almost done here anyway. I won't be on so much longer. If I wouldn't mind somebody at least commenting, or, you know, hit the like button. I got 0 likes up here at the top, so you only have to tap your screen twice and get a like. I've almost got 500 subscribers. I've got 476 subscribers, and my goal is 500. That would be really cool. You know, I haven't been doing this very long, but I'd like to get some suggestions from people about things to talk about and stuff, because it would just really help me out, you know, and being able to kind of come up with a solid time. Well, up until now, I have had pretty much a solid time. I do get on after work. I work till 4:30 usually, and I get on, you know, 2 or 3 days a week or something like that, or at least I have for the past, I don't know, month or so. But this is something I'd like to do on a more permanent basis. I'm not really looking, you know, for like the monetary value. I don't really care about all that. I'm just looking, you know, basically to see how many people I can reach, and how far I can get out. You know, I don't know if there's anybody like in Canada watching, or like the UK, or, you know, who's watching at this point. I'm guessing probably, well, it's what, 10 o'clock at night there in the UK. So I imagine some of the people in the UK may be on. I'm not sure. I know that when I'm on my virtual reality mask, around this time, especially on like Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, is when I get like mostly British people. They like to stay on, you know, pretty much all night. But it's 6 hours ahead of us, so it's like 10 o'clock there now, at least in most places. I don't know. It's pretty cool, you know, to talk to people all over the world, you know, on this thing. And course, everybody's got avatars and all that, so it's really cool to see how some of the avatars are designed for some of these people. The only bad part about being on a VR like that is that there's a lot of kids that you have to deal with, and the kids are really brutal with each other. And like last night I was on, and they have something called Horizon Central, which is Horizon Central is kind of like an open mall, and this is where everybody goes, and they got all kinds of different things in this mall. They've got like games that have doors on them, and then it leads you to other places. They've got things for you to jump on and, you know, tour around and stuff like that. That's generally where you find most of the kids. So I was on there last night, and I was trying to get from there to go somewhere else because I have a menu that I use, and the only place that I can use it is there. And like these kids started talking to me, and I was like, you know, look, you guys shouldn't be talking to adults. You know, we're your parents. You know, your parents just like, it's what I like to call disposable children, because these parents, they put their kids on there so they don't have to deal with them, I guess. I don't think it's really, I don't think it's really that they want them to have that activity. I think that they just got more things going on in life and don't want to have anything to do with their kids at that point, you know, so they put them on this thing so they don't have to deal with them. But it's really a shame that these kids, you know, they want to talk to adults and stuff, and I'm like, oh, no, don't talk to me. I'm not the one. You don't need to be talking to adults on here. Some of them are okay with that, but a lot of them take offense to it. Or at least I notice, like the boy kids do. They take a lot of offense to you telling them, look, don't talk to adults. You should really watch who you're talking to. Stuff like that. So anyway, I still don't have any comments or questions or suggestions or anything like that. It'd be cool to get some. Take another drink here. Anyway, so I've been on 32 minutes. I've had a pretty good flow of people, but still I have no likes. Somebody want to like my page, please? Or, you know, my section up here, just hit the screen twice. 2 times. That's all it takes. Yep. Okay. Because I'm pretty much done with what I need to do. And if you're coming in late, we started off talking about the St. Louis Battlehawks football team. I know there's a couple of people probably on here that were on here when I first started. I have no idea who they are. They never comment. I guess they just like to watch me or something. I don't know. But it would be really cool, you know, if I could get suggestions or what is it you guys want to talk about? Because remember, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know I don't talk about politics and religion, because those things, politics and religion cause too many problems. I'm not interested in talking about either one of them. That's something I do in my own time. And I don't do it with people that are important to me, simply because there are people that I'm close to that don't believe the same things that I believe. They don't like the same people I like, and they don't have the same morals and values that I have. So I don't talk about those things. I just, you know, it's a recourse, really. And I don't want anybody to, you know, change their mind or feel like they have to change their mind because of my views on things. We should all be able to just, you know, think our own way, and people be okay with that. But unfortunately, there are a lot of people that are not okay with that. So anyway, I don't see any more boxes to break down. So I think I'm going to end this or this live video here. I'd like to tell you guys I appreciate you stopping in at least. I really wish that, you know, people would take at least a second just to, you know, like my channel, or hit the subscribe button or something. Like I say, I have a goal. You know, I'd like to get maybe 100 likes, you know, per live feed, and I'd like to have at least 500 subscribers. And I guess it's going to take a while, because the more I do videos, And if I'm, pretty consistent with the time that I'm on, maybe that'll come to light. But up until now, it really hasn't. So, I've gotten on mostly at 4:30 in the evening. Today, I think I got on at what time is it now? 4:08. I've been on 35 minutes, so I got on right at 3:30 today. Which incidentally is kind of a funny story. We were working, and I had planned on. I usually work 10-hour days, but today, with it being Friday and the football game and stuff tonight, I had already decided I was going to leave early. Well, at about 1 o'clock, I don't know what happened, but it's real windy today where I work, and the power went out. And I mean, there was some stuff that I could still do, with the power being out, but I just pretty much decided that, I was gonna go ahead and take the rest of the day off at 2:30. So it was like, I don't know, about 10 minutes before I left, the power came back on. So, but I went ahead, since I'd made plans to leave, I went ahead and left anyway. Came home, and like I said, I had to get these boxes broke down in my basement, and as you can see, I'll show you here. As you can probably see, it looks a lot better than it did. Yeah, I've still got quite a bit of junk down here that I need to get rid of, but eventually I will. But for now, I'm gonna just keep it where it's at, because it's my junk and nobody cares, right? Ooh, that's okay. All right. So anyway, all right, you guys have a good evening. If you get a chance to check out the XFL, UFL, USFL Spring League football, like I said, the first game comes on tonight. It's going to be the St. Louis Battlehawks against the Houston Roughnecks. It's really exciting. It's not, it's not all the glam and glory that you get, with the NFL, but the guys play, much better because they don't have all the hassle with the sponsors and, salary caps and all that bullshit that goes along with it. And they leave all the political shit out of it. And that's what I like about it. They don't bring that stuff onto the field. Now they do talk a lot of trash, but it's generally they talk trash to the fans. But it's just, it's a good way to express the excitement of the game and stuff like that. So anyway, all right, well, you guys have it, take it easy, and I'll see you on the next live feed. And as always, have a good one. Peace.